Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you from thehealthyamerican.org here in chilly South Florida. I am in a place that's called the Treasure Coast, and people come here from what they call up north, those states like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, a lot from New York, a lot of people from Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maine, Pennsylvania, and they come down to sunny South Florida for the sun and the warm weather. Well, Baby, it's cold outside. It is freezing, literally freezing. In a little bit later in this broadcast, I'm going to show you the temps that I am facing. I'm going to show you what I normally wear and what I'm wearing now, which should be outlawed. And I'm also going to play for you some clips from research that I did about the government being able to manipulate the weather to, yes, create snowstorms. And I also answer the question, why would they do that? I've got these funny memes. Here is another one. Floridians, as soon as it reaches 60 degrees, I mean, that's probably not too far fetched. Here, this came on social media. I am over this 7-day free trial of living in Alaska. And of course, here we've got someone saying the average South Floridian owns exactly one hoodie, one sweatshirt, and one windbreaker for when it gets really cold. This guy is wearing a literal lifetime's worth of winter clothes this year. So I think humor is a good way of dealing with some of these situations. Let me know how cold it is where you are. I've done some coverage over the last several days about Minnesota. And one of the comments I had about my amazing healthy Americans that live there is how hardy they are, how they can really withstand those kinds of temperatures. It's not something that I personally can do. Friends, before we go on, I have a question for you. Is your retirement portfolio built for what's coming next? If you're over 40 and planning to retire someday, the window to protect what you've built may be smaller than you realize. Many investors in their 40s and 50s discover they have little to no exposure to precious metals. That means that their savings are largely tied to markets, to policies, and paper assets, with very little protection if conditions change. As retirement moves from someday to on the horizon, protecting what you've already built becomes just as important as growing it. That's where Noble Gold investments come in, because they help investors reduce risk by adding physical gold to their portfolios. Right now may be a smart time to talk with Noble Gold Investments. There's no pressure, there's no sales gimmicks, just clear answers and a strategy built around your goals. So visit noblegoldinvestments.com and build your portfolio for the long term. And if you qualify, you will get a 3-ounce American Virtues Independent Silver Round. Check out the details I have for you in the description box, along with the disclaimer that every investment carries a risk. So get your questions answered by the experts at noblegoldinvestments.com. All right, let's get back to the broadcast. All right, friends, a question I have is the media blowing out of proportion this cold weather here in South Florida. I'll show you those temperatures in just a little bit. Is it really as cold as they say? Well, last year there was snow in the Florida Panhandle. There you can see it. Oh my gosh. I have not seen snow where I am, but I wouldn't be surprised if that did happen or has happened in the past. Let's see. It says Southwest Florida is currently experiencing a cold spell, but it is not record breaking. So the lowest temperature ever recorded in Southwest Florida, well, I'm in Southeast Florida, that was 19 degrees on January 20th, 1997. Typically and historically, January and February are the coldest months of the year in Florida. So I do put on jeans, I do put on a sweatshirt, but I certainly don't want to put on a ski parka. Now, friends, I want to share with you a few clips of videos that I did previously. And this was the proof of artificial snowstorms, and the government admits to manipulating weather. I've done other broadcasts about how the government steers hurricanes and so forth, but I just took a few snippets here to show you how I do my research and how the government admits to what they're doing. I don't have proof that it's happening this time around. It could be just good old-fashioned cold weather, since we've seen historically there's been cold in Florida. I had to bring in all my orchids from the outside so they wouldn't get frostbite. All right, let me know how you are dealing with the weather. Let's enjoy these clips from previous videos, and I'll be right back with you. I'm going to share with you a couple other funny memes. Also, you're going to see exactly what I'm wearing and what I normally wear, and I'll show you what the temperatures are where I currently am. This is from the National Weather Service. They are talking about how they create snow, and they create snow by putting silver iodide, and we're going to look at that in great detail, into the atmosphere. It either is from a plane. I'm going to show you a couple of videos where they have that, or it's from the ground, and they send out the silver iodide. And here we go. Silver iodide assists super cooled water droplets to freeze into ice crystals. It's basically like dry ice. It is a molecule that is very similar to ice. Ice crystals fall as snow or rain, and the spring snow melt feeds rivers and reservoirs. All right, before we go any further, this is from the National Weather Service out of their Sacramento Bureau 9 years ago, and they are showing how they create snow. So anybody that is skeptical saying, well, the government can't manipulate the weather, there is a perfect fact for you right there. So many people have said that the snow doesn't melt. And others have said that the snow has a different kind of composition. It doesn't seem like the snow of childhood. It's not light, it's very heavy. This is called Weather Modification Association. Here we are, the Weather Modification Association. I know it's a little bit difficult to see the writing here on the website. So what we'll do is take you right on over to their project locations. And this is voluntary. Anybody that is involved in a weather modification project can submit it here. Let me show you. They can submit the project right here. And it is a map of weather modification programs around the United States and the world. So what we're going to do is look here at the United States. Well, you can see there are some projects going on. Let's see, there's one in Argentina. It looks like a big one in Greece for rainfall. We're going to focus on the United States and the western part of the United States. So this is a very interesting interactive map. And right here, I am going to click on what's going on in California. So we've got the Sacramento area. My friend Renette brought us an eyewitness perspective, and that is airing on my Rumble channel. So here it is. It's got the name of the project, which is the Upper American River Snow Augmentation Project. Are you with me? The company that's doing it is the RHS Consulting, and that is at this website I'm going to click on, and that is, we'll just go straight on over to skywaterventures.com. I have been unsuccessful in contacting them. I would like to find out who is funding this project for the snow augmentation in the Sierras here in California. And they do blatantly and boldly proclaim on their website that our goal is to design and develop effective cloud seeding programs that provide additional responsible water sources for the environment, our families, and future generations. And they do both on the ground where they seed, they spray these chemicals into the air, and then they also do it from planes as well. Friends, I've done a series of videos already where I broke down exactly what they're spraying into the air, how they do it. We talked about why are they doing it. So let's go back. And the purpose in this video is to give you actual hard data, to bring you the receipts, so to speak, so that you can share this information with others who are saying, I don't believe that this is going on. I think this is all natural. Well, they're admitting and they're showing you the projects that are underway right now. So let's share the screen again, and we'll hop right on over to the project locations page. And what we'll do, so that was in Central California. Let's look again. Fresno, that's by the same company. And this is the Kings River Project. So I did a little digging, and Kings River Project, this is from, I'm just going to grab my, is a project that is done with the Kings River Conservation District. This is a government district, kind of like the water district, almost like a county, board, but they are the ones that have a contract with this project here, which is actually called snowpack augmentation. So they are paying this company that I just showed you, the Skywater Ventures, to increase the amount of snow in this area. And they do it by increasing silver
iodide, spraying that into the air. And they also, I don't know about this project in particular, but they also put other particulates in the air, including carbon dioxide. Yes, they do. So buckle up. Looks like you're going to be having a lot of snow. That's their project, snowpack augmentation for 190 square miles. Now, down here in Santa Barbara, the county of Santa Barbara, they are doing rain enhancement. And I shared that with you on a previous video. So we're going to click here. We can see it's the Santa Barbara project. That is with the county of Santa Barbara. Your tax dollars, if you live in Santa Barbara, are going to this company right here called North American Weather Consultants. Yes, because they consult with the weather. And here the tagline says, climate and weather experts, we make it rain literally. So they talk about right here, cloud seeding for conscious rainfall and snowfall augmentation. If you would like to contact them to find out how much this project is and who exactly is paying for it, I have not had any success, but I would love for my healthy Americans to do that. This is very interesting. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I've been on this website over the years, and what I wanted to bring to you is this page that lists weather modification project reports. This is not conclusive. This is not every weather modification project around. It says that there is a public law that all non-federal weather modification activities must be reported to the U.S. Secretary of Commerce via this program office. These are only updated on a quarterly basis. The most recent one I could find was going through May of 2022. And you can see it right here, snowpack augmentation. Here are several: increased precipitation in Idaho, snowpack augmentation in Idaho, Central Colorado, snowpack precipitation augmentation, augment snowpack, all through here. Now, notice this one here in Gunnison. That was back in 2021. All right, this is really interesting. Here's how I do my research. So I'm going to click on this report here. And again, I will just read it to you if it's a little difficult to see on your screen. And it ran from November of 2021 till the end of 2021. And it shows that they had 11 days in December and 3 days in November, and they put silver iodide in the air, 284 units. I don't know what that measurement is. And in December, they did 3,726. Well, let's take a look at this, shall we? I happened to go over to the Gunnison River Basin, and this says that the crazy snowpack numbers have people talking. A news story, and this is 2021, a news story on Denver's 9 News in early June reported that snowpack in the Gunnison Basin was at 350,000% of average. Yes, that number is absolutely accurate. So snowpack, and they have based, and I just showed you the project in Gunnison. This is artificially created snow. Are you with me? Here you go, Gunnison. And the other thing that's interesting, when I was reading these reports, they never file I'm sorry, I'm actually looking at a different Gunnison, but these are two very interesting things here. Let me take a look. Actually, I think it is the same. It is Colorado Gunnison Basin Roundtable. This is absolutely accurate. So in 2021, they had over 52,000%. It was 52,000% more than average. And I just showed you that this is artificially.
All right, friends, a couple more funny memes as we close out this broadcast, a bonus broadcast. Northerners, please come down here and get your weather. He's drunk and passed out in our front yard. Oh, my goodness. All right, welcome to Antarctica. The Sunshine State has frozen over. Survival is no vacation coming this weekend. Well, that's kind of how it feels, at least today. Here's another one. The HOA, yes, it seems like everyone lives in an HOA here. This parka, it's quite similar to what I'm going to show you in a moment. rules review, compliance issues, and the cold weather plan. Well, since a number of people come down here from up north, as was that a good accent? They know how to deal with the cold weather, but they're coming here to avoid it. All right, I'd rather be cold up here. I mean, I'd rather be cold here in South Florida than freeze up north. If you've ever said, I'll do that when hell freezes over, good news. You're scheduled to do that this week. All right, let's take a look at some clothing of yours truly. This is what I normally would wear in sunny South Florida, my typical outfit. And here is what I'm wearing this weekend. I'm amazed that I still even have this ski parka and booties from my California days. And here's why I need that. 35 degrees. It's going to get even colder tomorrow. I'm broadcasting this on the last day of January, Saturday, January 31st. And then you can see it is pretty darn cold. Now, during the day, it's certainly not as bad as up north in terms of how cold the weather is. And hey, by the middle of next week, we're going to be back into 70 degrees. Friends, you might be surprised, or maybe not. Here in Florida, we consider 70 degrees rather chilly. What say you? I want to hear about the weather where you are. Is the news making a mountain out of a molehill? Is this typical weather for your time of the year? Or do you have any indication that the government is manipulating the weather and making it colder where you are? All right, friends, I look forward to seeing you on Monday. I've got my broadcast at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I look forward to seeing you then.